Dear students, my name is Ashok Kurane. Today it is the PUC second year economics. The chapter is first introduction. In the introduction, we have to study the central problems of an economy. Central problems of an economy. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಯ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು. ಈ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಅತಿ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದದ್ದು. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತದೆ. ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯು ಅನೇಕ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳ ಕೊರತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಎದುರಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಲು ಬಯಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವುದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಯಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಸರಕು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎದುರಿಸಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಅನೇಕ ಇರುವುದು. ಅವು ಯಾವುಗಳಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸಹಿತ ನಾವು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಎದುರಿಸಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಏನನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು. ಮೊದಲೇ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಿಗಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾವಾಗ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದರ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯು ಎದುರಿಸುವಂಥ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. ಹೀಗೆ what are the problems of an economy, or what are the central problems of an economy? There are a number of problems or in the economy. There are a number of problems. First problem is what to produce. Second problem is how to produce. Third problem is for whom to produce. This is the most important problems. What to produce, how to produce, whom to produce, when to produce, how much to produce. These are the important problems of the central problems of an economy. The production, exchange and consumptions, goods and services among the basic economic activities. What are the basic economic activities? Production, exchange, consumption of goods and services are the basic economic activities of life. In the course of these basic economic activities, the society has to face scarcity resources. Society has to face scarcity resources, and the scarcity of resources gives rise to the problem of choice. The scarcity of resources, this scarcity of resources that gives rise to the problem of choice. Problem of choice. The scarcity of resources that gives rise to the problem of choice. Scarcity of resources that gives rise to the problem of choice. ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಉದ್ಭವಿಸುತ್ತವೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೆ ಏನು ಉದ್ಭವ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಉದ್ಭವಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸುವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತವೆ. ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳಿಂದ ನಾವು ಅನೇಕ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. What to produce? We have resources, but problem is what to produce. This gives rise to the problem of choice. Problem of choice. The scarcity resource of an economy have competing usages. The scarce resources, of an economy have competing usages. First, scarcity of resources that gives rise to the problem of choice. These scarce resources of an economy have competing usages. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಇವು ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿರುತ್ತವೆ. ಆಯ್ಕೆಗಳು ಎಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿವೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ wants are there, have to produce, have to satisfy, but it is competitive or competing usages. The scarcity or scarce resources of an economy have competing usages. This is the most important words. Scarcity of resources that gives rise to the problem of choice. These scarce resources of an economy have competing usages. In other words, every society has to decide on how to use its resources. Every society has to decide on how to use its resources. You know, the first problem of an economy is, or the first central problem of an economy is what to produce. First central problem of an economy is what to produce, or what is produced. What is produced and in what quantities. What is produced and in what quantities. What to produce or what is produced and in what quantities. ಏನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು. So what to produce? Every society has to decide on how much of each of the different or many possible goods and services it will produce. Every society has to decide how much of each of the many possible goods and services it will produce, whether to produce more of food, whether to produce more of food, clothing, or housing, whether to produce more of food, clothing, housing, whether to produce more of food, clothing, housing, or to have more of luxury goods, to have more of luxury goods, to have more of luxury goods, or whether to more of agricultural goods, or more of agricultural goods, or whether to produce industrial goods and services, industrial goods or industrial products and services, or whether to more resources used in education, where to use more resources in education and health, or to use more resources in building military services, whether to have more of basic education, or more of higher education, whether to have more of consumption goods, whether more of produce consumption goods, or to have investment goods or machinery goods like machine, to have investment goods, like machine, which will boost production and consumption tomorrow. This is the first problem of and central problem of an economy. What to produce? The first central problem of economy is what to produce or what is produced and at what quantities. The question mark is there. What quantities? Whether to produce more of food, clothing or housing, you have to select. the best problem of these three necessities. Whether to produce more of luxury goods means car, vehicles, etc. or rich TV, fan, watch, mobiles. These are the luxury goods. Or to produce more of agriculture goods, or to produce more of industrial product and services, or the more use of resource in education and health, more resources used in education and health, or the resources used for building the military services, or the resources used in basic education, or the resources are used in higher education, and the more of produce consumption goods or investment goods like machinery or machine. These are the important problems of the central problems of an economy. If you select these food, clothing and housing, you use or economy use the entire scarce resources to produce food, clothing and housing. The economy have to sacrifice all these necessaries like luxury goods, agriculture goods, industrial products and services, education and health and services, and education and higher education and consumption goods and investment goods. You have to sacrifice if you select whether more produce food, clothing, housing, or accept these things. You select all these things, you have to sacrifice these things. This is the problem of a central economy. This is the first problem of a central economy. What to produce? What to produce? Economy has to produce number of goods within limited resources or scarce resources. This is the first problem of the central economy or the central problems of an economy. In the second, how to produce. Second point is how to produce. How to produce. How to produce or how are these goods produced? How are these goods produced? These goods produced. This is the question. First problem is what to produce or what is produced and in what quantities. The second problem of central problem of an economy is how to produce or how are these goods are produced. In this economy, society has to use scarce resources. How to produce a different product or many different product and goods and services it will produce because of the shortage of scarce resources, or we have the scarce resources and you use scarce resources in this production, and there is whether to use more of labor or capital. If the factors of productions are there. Whatever you produce, the necessity of factors of productions. First factors of production is land. Second is labor. Or third factors of production is capital or machine. How to produce? This is the second problem of an economy. How to produce? What to use? Factors of productions. More of labor or more of capital or machine? And what technology is used in this productions? Or which technology should be used available in the production and goods and services? There are labor. If you invest or use more and more labor and more capital, it includes the cost. The resources are not abundant, not sufficient. They are in scarce. To use, how much to use the scarce resources or use of labor and capital, which is more used in this or to produce goods and services, the labor or the capital, which factors of productions use more and use less. You think our society has to decide how much and how to produce in what factors of productions. In the labor and capital, these are the two inputs to use productions. Labor and capital. Without labor, we cannot produce. Without capital or machine, we cannot produce. Which is more useful? In various countries or underdeveloped countries, use labor, more and more labor. India uses the labor, and forward or developed country uses the capital or machines. Why India using labor? India is a labor intensive country because of India is the second in the population in the world. So India is using labor, more and more labor, and less capital. Why? India is not capitalistic. India is a agriculturist. India having more population in the second in the world, so using more and more labor. And other countries, there is no more population. They are using capital or machines. They are producing from the machines. They are called capital intensive. The India is called labor intensive. When you use labor use more than capital, it is called as the labor intensive. What is labor intensive? Using more and more labor and less capital, it is called as the labor intensive. And using more and more capital greater than labor, it is capital intensive. This is called as a capital intensive. These two inputs are used in the productions. labor and capitals play most role in a central problem of an economy. Which factors use more and more? Which factor use less and less? You have to not use two more and more. We have scarcity resources. This is labor intensive and capital intensive. Which of the available technology should be adopted in the production of these goods and services? This is the second central problem of an economy. This is the second central problem of an economy. In the third one is that for whom to produce? For whom to produce? For whom to produce? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎರಡನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಸಾಂದ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಶ್ರಮ ಸಾಂದ್ರವನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಸಾಂದ್ರವನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರಮ ಸಾಂದ್ರವೂ ಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಸಾಂದ್ರವೂ ಬೇಕು. ಇವು ಎರಡೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಮಷಿನ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಶ್ರಮ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಬೇಕು, ಆ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಶ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಬಂಡವಾಳಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು ಶ್ರಮ ಸಾಂದ್ರವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಬಂಡವಾಳವನ್ನು ಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಸಾಂದ್ರವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಸಮಾಜವು ಅದನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವುದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನು ಮೂರನೇ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಹೂಮ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ಹೂಮ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. ಫಾರ್ whom are these goods produced. The third central problem of economy is for whom are these goods produced. First problem of an economy is what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. For whom to produce. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗಾಗಿ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡವರು, ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುತ್ತಾರೆ? ಅದು ಯಾವ ನಮ್ಮ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಿದಂಥ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ವಿವಿಧ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಹಂಚಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಹೇಗೆ ಹಂಚಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಮೂರನೇ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅದ ಹೂಮ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. ಹೂಮ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್, ಯಾರಿಗಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು? ಏನು ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರಿಗಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಬಡವರಿಗಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಿಗಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕಾದ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅನುಭವಿ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಫಾರ್ whom are these goods produced? This is the problem of the central problem of an economy. Who gets how much of goods that are produced in the economy? ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡಬೇಕು. ಹೌ ಶುಡ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಬಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಕಾನಮಿ? How should produce of the economy be distributed among the industrial in the economy? Who gets more and who gets less? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಪಡಿತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಯಾರು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡಿತಾರೆ? Who gets more and who gets less? Whether or not to ensure a minimum amount of consumption for everyone in the economy. economy. Whether or not elementary education and basic health services should be available free for everyone in the economy. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಮೂಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮೂಲ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಡವರಾಗಲಿ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರಾಗಲಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. Thus, every economy faces the problem of allocating resources to production of different possible goods and services and distributing the produced goods and services among the individuals within the economy. The most problem of the economy is the allocation of resources and the distribution of the final goods and services are the central problem of an economy. These are the important central problem of an economy. First problem is what to produce or what is produced and what quantities. It is the first problem. Second, how to produce or how are these goods are produced. And third one is for whom to produce or for whom are these goods produced. This is the most important problems faces in the economy. So the society has to decide how much to, what to produce, how to produce, and whom to produce. This is the central problem of an economy. Understand?